Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the breakdown of my Auburn Football Performance Center tour. Now, disclaimer, most of this video is going to be me talking about all of the stuff that I saw. I'm going to show a couple of the clips that I got. They're about 10 seconds a piece, about 3 or 4 of them that I got from, that I was able to record. Did take a lot of pictures, so I'll obviously show those pictures once we go over those as well. Obviously, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, turn that bell on. Again, we do our best to post on this channel every single day. This is going to be the only video for today. Tomorrow, you guys are going to have UNC Wilmington's online dynasty. And then, of course, Thursday, we have a football game to talk about, which we will talk about, the Hall of Fame game. Friday, we will play our dynasty as Baylor as well. So, that is the outlook for the week. Obviously, I'm recording this ahead of time because I'm going to have to get a lot of this editing done for you guys for this video. So, if you haven't already, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel. Helps us out tremendously. Let's go ahead, hop right in to this tour/review of the Auburn Football Performance Center. Alright, so starting off, of course, with the lobby itself. Once you enter the lobby, the first thing you see are the trophies. You see BCS National Championship Trophy from 2010. I got to see that. You see the Heisman Trophy winners, Cam Newton, Bo Jackson, Pat Sullivan. Their trophies are all in the trophy case. You see the hundreds of SEC championship that Auburn football has. But you also get to see, of course, the game. When this game was announced, Auburn was one of the first schools to be in the game, or announced to be in the game. They have that up on their video board. Their video board in that facility looks really, really good and well done. It's a lot. We did not get to check out the weight room, might I add, just because there were workouts going on. They were busy with that, but we did get to check out everything else in there. I didn't get to film, might I add, in the weight room, but I got to do a lot of the other stuff as well. So you open the lobby, there it is, SEC championships, obviously Heisman trophies, national championships, whatever else trophies you can think of that Auburn football has, it's in that lobby once you enter, and obviously there it is. So that's the lobby. Let's move on to the next part, which is the NFL Draft video board. So this right here is the NFL Draft video board / whatever you want to call it. It's the board that shows how many total draft picks they have, obviously how many first round selections, basically going in depth on the NFL stuff. So players, actually, I learned this the other day, but players, when they go to practice, and I'll show you the practice fields in a minute, they see this video board on the way to practice, sort of like an end goal here. What is the next level to these college athletes? Obviously, 298 total draft picks is what it said, is a lot. 2 Hall of Fame inductees as well, with Cam Newton, obviously, and a couple other ones too. But that is the NFL Draft video board. Up next, you have the Auburn football practice, the indoor practice field. This practice field is insane. It is huge. Obviously, I took like 3 or 4 pictures, so I will put them all up on the screen right here for you guys. So there it is. But this practice field is huge. It can literally simulate anything you want it to. It can get as loud as you want. When we were walking on it towards the right of us, the first string offense were warming up. So Jarquez Hunter, Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, Peyton Thorne, all of those guys, they were getting ready to take the field for practice. At least this was on, I believe, a Friday, so they still would have had practice in the morning. We got to see Cam Coleman. We saw Perry Thompson, obviously. Those guys we did see. But this practice facility is really nice. Obviously, here at the on the end wall over there's my sister right there. But you see character, discipline, All-American, togetherness, and of course conviction as well. Basically symbolizing the 5 traits of what it is to be an Auburn Tiger. That is what they strive to be. Obviously, you have to have good character. You have to be disciplined enough to practice every single day. Up next is kind of just a view once you walk out towards the practice field, or the outside practice field. But this picture I really do like. It is the conference championships. Now, obviously, there's a lot, and then the numbers represent, I believe, the people who have been inducted in the Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken, in the NFL. But the conference championship, there's about 10 or so of them as well. Our latest one being 2013. It's been a while since we had a conference championship. But the conference championships are up on the wall. as well. And then, yeah, that's pretty much the practice field. Let's go ahead and talk about the outdoor practice field as well. Alright, so this little clip that I have here, excuse my coach who was in the middle of it, but the clip that I have here is the Auburn outdoor practice field. This is where, obviously, this is going to be where they simulate real live games and stuff like that. Obviously, in July, it is hot outside. There's going to be heat advisories, so when they don't use this, when there's stuff like that, they're going to use the indoor practice facility. But this outdoor practice facility, obviously, does help them a lot. It gets them acclimated to the Alabama weather as well. A lot of those teams don't know about that. So as you get used to it, and probably here within the next couple of weeks, they will be using the outdoor facility as well. Fall camp is a great way for them to use the outdoor facility. That's where obviously the players get ready for the actual start of the season, and that will start up here in about 2 weeks or so. But yeah, that's the Auburn football outdoor facility and the indoor practice field as well. Alright, so this next part is really, really cool. This is, obviously you see a pool, right? But these 3 pictures that I'm going to show you here, these are all kind of, it's kind of hard to describe, but these are all where the players go for rehab and stuff like that. That long pool that I showed, that is right here up on the screen, is basically a training type of pool to kind of get your legs back in gear as well. Then you go into the cold tub, or you can go in the hot tub, whichever one your trainer prefers, and obviously you sort of relax. So the long one is kind of where it gets amped up for them. This is where you're rehabbing your legs back together. If something's broken in your legs, you're going to use the long pool a lot. And then obviously the 2 short pools on the other side is, of course, it's where you relax for whatever reason. Cold tubs, maybe not so much, but the hot tubs, at least, is definitely where players spend a lot of their time after rehabbing in the long pool as well. Alright, so the next thing I'm about to show you guys are the player lounges. I got a little glimpse of the player lounges, couldn't record much, just because there were so many players going in and out of it. That's where I got to meet Cam Coleman, was the player lounge. I talked to a head coach, or a defensive coach in there, which I'll talk about here in a second. But this is the player lounge. Obviously, they got to show us the charging ports that they have in their little cubbies there towards the necks of the chairs. The chairs, they can lean back. I got to sit in one. I'm not going to show that one, but I did get to sit in one of them. So that was pretty cool. I'm guessing that's nap central for especially fall camp for these guys. So yeah, that is the player lounges. It circles around, and then you head out to your locker room, grab your stuff, and then you head out to the stadium for game time as well. So player lounge is actually first, and then you go into the locker room to kind of grab your gear and stuff. Player lounge is where you can relax, hang out for a little bit, and then, of course, gear up for game time going into the locker room, which leads to the stadium. Alright, up next is the barber shop. I'm only going to hit this one for about 30 seconds or so. Basically, obviously, it's where players can get their haircut if they need to be. That's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. It is a pretty cool addition to have, though, especially after a long summer. You're growing your hair out. You can definitely get a cut in there, get a fresh cut before football season starts as well. Definitely a great thing to have if you're going to, obviously, be a football player. Right, up next, this one is really cool. I found this probably one of the more interesting ones of the tour. It is the Innovation Lab. So I will show the Innovation Lab fully here in a second, but really quickly, those things that I showed pictures of, those jerseys hanging up, are all game-worn jerseys. So number 7 being Pat Sullivan, number 34 is Charles Barkley, and then number 2 is Cam Newton. That Cam Newton jersey was worn throughout that 2010 jersey that he gave back to Auburn. And then the football helmets itself, the football helmets underneath show the evolution of the Auburn football helmet. I'm not going to go into full detail on that, but from once we originated to a program to now, it's definitely become innovative as well. That is the uniforms. Now let's talk about the actual lab itself, which is very, very interesting. So here we are at the Innovation Lab, to be specific, the Rollins Montgomery Innovation Lab. This lab is actually really cool, and I'm not going to go in depth, but basically, number one, its first priorities are, once you're a new student athlete on campus, it will get you fitted from head to toe. I was not able to test it out, of course, But it's able to get you fitted from head to toe, show what your strong sides are, what you need to work on. But it also can scan injuries and scan your body for injuries, which I thought was really cool. They did have I believe it was a women's basketball player, if I'm not mistaken, who had a foot injury that they were able to locate with this lab here on Auburn's campus. So that is really cool to see. Obviously, getting fitted like down to the helmet size of your head is going to be really cool. They can fit you down to your shoe as well, get you custom-made cleats for this once you're a student athlete as well. And then at the bottom here, I'm going to put these pictures up. These are all the opponents that they are playing. Obviously, a couple of them are missing, like Alabama A&M. New Mexico is still missing, but those are the teams that they are. You see Arkansas, Oklahoma, Georgia, A&M, Alabama, Vanderbilt, Kentucky is on there as well, Missouri, Cal, and then, of course, Arkansas as well. So a couple of them are missing, but still really cool that they do get those players' helmets and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Let's move on to the next thing. Up next is the practice media room. So basically what this room is, and I'll put a couple of the pictures up here on the screen. My dad and sister are in the way of this. But these computers, basically the guys up there, and this is what I would be doing if I got that job at Auburn that I talked about earlier. These guys run the practice views. This is the film guys for practice. So they have the different camera angles. They change the different camera angles when they want to, show Coach Freeze and staff what it is, and then Coach Freeze can take it from there as well. That's really cool to see. Obviously, you'll see another one where they work on stuff too. But yeah, that is definitely something I'm going to be interested in once I get to Auburn as well. Hopefully, I get that job like I said was promised, but we'll see when future time comes. That's the media room. Let's move on to the next room. Up next, we got to check out the team meeting room. So we got to see where the offensive linemen meet and where the full team meets. And I'll go over an interesting fact that I thought was pretty cool here in a second. But the first up is the offensive line rooms. The specific rooms are definitely very small, but the one that I showed you right here is me in the offensive line rooms. Behind us, you can see all the famous offensive linemen that have come out of Auburn. Next, you do have the team meeting rooms. Basically, the team meeting room, they have this little screen that shows that can go up or go down in the span of like a minute and 37 seconds or something. It's actually insane how quick it goes. We did not get to see it go up or go down because they had their team meeting. Coach Freeze likes to do separate meetings once they hit practice and stuff. He was already gone for the day though, but that is the team meeting rooms as well. We're almost done with this tour. Let's move on to the next and final thing. Alright, scratch that. Up next is the two final things before we are done. But the first thing that I want to show you guys are where the coach's office and this little hallway area. So this little hallway area, obviously, really quickly, I want to point out the lights above. I got showed this too, but the lights are a reflection of the Eagles. The Eagles birds is it all in the details, and we got to see this in the weight room too. But they do have the little Eagles kind of flame things, I guess you would say, upstairs, going up the stairs. Kind of sort of like that. I don't really know. But it's all in the details, stuff like that. Next, though, is this little room. This little room can simulate, they could simulate whatever they want on this room. So if Coach Freeze tells them to do a certain blocking assignment, then they can do it here in this room on those projectors up there. They can definitely, they show the other team. And then this offense right here, they line up on the field, I guess you would say. And they try to block and stuff. This is mainly for the offensive and defensive linemen, but they try to move out of the way. So they can do it on either sides of the board. I believe that room little thing closes all the way, if I'm not mistaken. But they can do this on different sides of the ball, defensive linemen and offensive linemen specifically, and kind of have them mimic where the other offensive defensive lineman guards are going to go. Kind of sort of to prep for which ways that other team's linemen are going to go after them and kind of get the quarterback, basically protecting Peyton Thorne as well. So that is what that room is. Let's go ahead and move on to the last thing. Alright, so our final thing here, the conclusion of the tours. This room is the recruiting room. A lot of these students, this is where they work. A lot of the students work in this room right here. If you're a part of the recruiting team, then this is where you are going to be working and obviously toughening up players. We did see some of the targets that they were going after, like Ackland Deer. We saw him. We saw a couple of the other ones. Alvin Henderson was up there too. So there are some targets up there. Obviously, it's kind of been off and on a little bit because they have left for summer and stuff like that. But yes, and then the next thing that they have is the social media room where all the social media designs come in. I will put up an example for you guys here on the screen right now. This is where that Instagram post, everything you see that I post on Twitter, Instagram, from Auburn football comes from. I could also take this job if I wanted to. Not really sure which one I would like more, but social media design, that is what that room is. And then, of course, the previous room is the recruiting room as well. So that concludes our tour of the Auburn Football Performance Center. Let's go ahead and close out this video. Anyway, of course, that is where I'm going to leave you guys for today's video. Once again, if you have not already, hit that like, subscribe, turn that bell on. We do our best to post on this channel every single day. Like I said, I'm going to hop off because it's edited so you guys can watch it on time. Let me know what you thought of the Performance Center in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and of course, I will see you all in the next video. Peace.